February 2026. Inside the Rawalpindi garrison in Islamabad, Pakistan's most powerful military generals are staring at satellite feeds of Kabul. They are actively plotting airstrikes against the exact same group they originally built. On February 27th, Pakistan's Defense Minister Khwaja Asif announced that their patience had run out, declaring the situation an open war. Normally, a statement like that from Islamabad implies a conflict with India, but this time the target is the Taliban government in Afghanistan. This military offensive is escalating rapidly, and civilians are paying the price. Over 100 innocent people are dying every week. On March 16th, a Pakistani airstrike hit an addiction treatment hospital near Kabul, killing more than 400 people, including children. For 30 years, Pakistan's intelligence agency, the ISI, was the Taliban's primary lifeline, providing the money, training, and heavy weaponry that ensured the group's survival through multiple wars. Today, that same infrastructure of support has been redirected toward Islamabad. The group engineered to secure Pakistan's interests has become the primary threat to its stability. To understand how we got here, we have to look back to 1994. Afghanistan was consumed by civil war. Officers from the ISI approached a local cleric named Mullah Omar with a straightforward offer. Pakistan would provide him with weapons and cash as long as his faction took over the country and followed Islamabad's orders. This map shows the long contested border between India and Pakistan. For decades, Pakistan's military planners feared being geographically squeezed by India from the east. Their solution was a military doctrine known as strategic depth. By installing an obedient puppet regime on their western border in Afghanistan, Pakistan believed they could secure a safe rear buffer zone. The ISI's plan worked. Convoys of oil tankers and military supplies flooded across the border. Flush with Pakistani resources, the Taliban rapidly mobilized and captured Kabul by 1996. When the United States invaded following the 2001 terror attacks, Pakistan engaged in a complex double game. Publicly, they allied with Washington. Secretly, the ISI provided the Taliban leadership with safe havens, funding, and training to outlast the American occupation. The strategy seemingly paid off in 2021, when American forces finally withdrew and the Taliban reclaimed Kabul completely. Pakistan's then Prime Minister Imran Khan openly celebrated, declaring that the Afghans had broken the chains of slavery. Islamabad believed their proxy was back on the throne, but they treated a heavily armed, religiously motivated militia like a standard, predictable political asset. That miscalculation birthed the Tehrik-i-Taliban Pakistan, or the TTP. These militants were educated in the same ISI-funded madrasas and fought alongside the Afghan Taliban. But angry over Pakistan's public cooperation with the US, the TTP turned their weapons against the Pakistani state. The TTP has been responsible for some of the deadliest violence in the country's history, like the 2014 Peshawar school attack that killed 132 children. This line chart tracks terror-related deaths in Pakistan. After the Afghan Taliban retook power, TTP attacks inside Pakistan surged, driving deaths from just over 2,200 in 2024 to over 4,000 in 2025. This brings us to a highly unusual geographic reality. The TTP orchestrates these attacks from safely across the border inside Afghanistan. They are sheltered and protected by the Afghan Taliban. Pakistan demanded that the Afghan Taliban hand over the TTP leadership or face military consequences, but the government in Kabul refused, trapped in a dilemma involving a rival extremist group, ISIS-Khorasan. This flowchart illustrates the Taliban's trap. If Kabul's leadership cracks down on the TTP to appease Pakistan, those fighters will likely defect immediately to ISIS-K. Pressuring the TTP would multiply the Taliban's own internal security threats. By early 2026, the deadlock snapped. Following a cross-border offensive by the Taliban, Pakistan launched direct airstrikes on Kandahar, the spiritual birthplace of the Taliban and the home of its secretive leader, Hibbatullah Akhundzada. Islamabad was signaling they would directly hit the highest levels of Taliban leadership. Pakistan cannot tolerate a safe haven that exports violence into its cities, and the Afghan Taliban cannot afford to risk a mass defection to ISIS. Both sides are locked into an inevitable conflict. From a military standpoint, neither side can achieve a decisive victory. Pakistan maintains aerial dominance, but the Taliban counter this asymmetry using kamikaze drones and the guerrilla tactics they use to fight the United States. The full-scale Pakistani ground invasion is unlikely. The hostile mountain ranges of Afghanistan present a logistical nightmare that defeated both the Soviet Union and the United States. This conflict has inverted Pakistan's core motivation for backing the Taliban, the quest for strategic depth against India. To build international legitimacy and stabilize their economy, the Afghan Taliban is actively courting New Delhi. They are signing trade agreements with India,